Hello students, in the last PowerPoint presentation we have discussed about the theories of intelligence and we got two approaches. The first one is the psychometric approach and the second one is the information processing approach. And in the last PPT we have discussed the psychometric approach. So today we will be doing the information processing approach and theories under it. So under the theories of information processing, we have theory of multiple intelligence, then there is triarchic theory, and then there is PASS model. So we will be covering these three theories under information processing. So let's start with the theory of multiple intelligence. So theory of multiple intelligence, actually it was developed by Howard Gardner, and this intelligence actually it falls under both the approaches. So it falls under both psychometric approaches as well as the information processing approach. So if you all mention theory of multiple intelligence, whether in psychometric approach or in information approach, so both will be correct. Okay. So this was developed by Howard Gardner, where according to him, intelligence is not a single entity, rather distinct type of intelligences exist. So they are independent of each other but do work together at times to find solution to a problem. So Gardner studied extremely talented people and arrived on 8 types of intelligences. So what Gardner did is that he has developed an intelligence test and he has found out some talented people and he got 8 independent kind of intelligences which every talented people are specified with the specific factor along with the general factor. So here, in order to see the intelligence of a person, it is very important to see his or her abilities also, whether he or she have any kind of special ability. So here, this 8 types of intelligence make sure that one person is different from another depending on the S factor. So here the first type of intelligence which he have found is linguistic. So basically it involves skills in the production and use of language. So such people are word smart, articulate poets and writers. So they are very fluent in any language and flexible to express their thinking and understand others. So persons high on this intelligence are basically word smart and they are sensitive to different shades of word meanings and create linguistic images in their mind. Second one, it is logical mathematical. So basically it involves scientific thinking and problem solving. So a person who is high in logical mathematical, so they think logically, critically, they are able to abstract reason, symbols and mathematical problem solving. So example of logical mathematical are scientists, mathematicians who won Nobel Prize. Third is spatial, which includes visual images and patterns in the mind. So they basically are engaged with forming, using, transforming mental images. So if I have to draw anything and if I'm high with a special ability, so what I'll do is that I will think the 3D images in my mind and then I will articulate it in the paper. So basically think first and then draw it out. So this of course everyone don't have this ability. So basically pilots, sailors, sculptors, painters, architects, interior decorators, surgeons are high in special ability. Fourth is musical ability. Someone who is sensitive to rhythm and sound pattern. So they are there are people who are high with musical ability, and of course they are the ones who also write lyrics and give tunes to music. You all hear music, isn't it? Songs, you all hear songs and music. So that one also, it is someone's creative ability of who is high in their musical ability. So they produce, create and manipulate music patterns so that it becomes easy for people to hear. So they know that whether if they put this sound, what kind of rhythm will be uh, at ease that people will hear and people will like it. Fifth is the bodily kinesthetic ability, where bodily means body movement, body balance, body posture, and body coordination. And kinesthesis means movement. So basically, the dancers, choreographers, surgeons, gymnasts, sportsmen are high with bodily kinesthetic ability. Sixth, it is interpersonal ability, where it is basically the skill of understanding the motives, feelings, and behaviors of other people, and they are able to bond a comfortable relationship with others. For example, the psychologists, counselors, politicians, social workers, and religious leaders. Number seven, it's intrapersonal, which means awareness of one's own feelings, motives, and desires. Now, here students don't get confused between interpersonal and intrapersonal. The basic difference between the both the terms is that interpersonal means understanding the motives, feelings, and behaviors of other people, whereas intrapersonal, it is awareness of one's own feelings, motives, and desires. So here basically a person who is high in interpersonal ability, he or she have the access to know his or her own feelings, ability to draw on one's own emotions to guide and understand his or her own behavior. They also have the ability to recognize their personal strengths and weaknesses. So basically there are people who don't know their own personal strengths and weaknesses. They don't even know themselves well. So if a person do not know himself or herself well, how he or she will know about others? So basically, people who are high with intrapersonal abilities are the philosophers and spiritual leaders, as well as the psychologists too. They are also aware of their own feelings, motives, and desires. Last, number eight, it is naturalist ability. So it is the awareness of relationship with the natural world, beauty of flora, fauna, ecology. So they are basically sensitive towards the natural world. So the hunters, farmers, tourists, botanists, environmentalists, animal activists, they are high with the naturalistic ability. So with this, we come to the uh, end of this theory of multiple intelligence. Like, we come to this conclusion that how practical this theory of Howard Gardner is, and it is very important from career point of view, because these independent abilities are very useful in one's career. So if a particular child has a certain ability, we can develop that and help him or her take up that particular area. So that is why most of them and many psychologists have adopted this multiple theory, and that is the only reason why the only theory of multiple intelligence is regarded as both psychometric as well as information processing approach. Moving on to the next theory, it is the triarchic theory of intelligence. So this theory was developed by Robert Sternberg in 1985, who proposed that intelligence is the ability to adapt, to shape and select environment to accomplish one's goals and those of society and culture. So basically he has given us three basic types of intelligence. We will go through one by one. The first one, it is componential intelligence, where he has analyzed information to solve problems, and he has emphasized on this. So such people think analytically and critically. So persons high on this ability succeed in schools, And this intelligence has three components, each serving different function. Under componential intelligence, there is knowledge acquisition, which is the first stage, to learn, encode, combine, and compare information. Then the second stage, it is the meta component, where one has the ability to control, evaluate, monitor, and plan. So basically it is cognitive processing, where one engages in analysis and solving the problem. So basically meta, it is also a higher order component. Okay. And the third one is the performance component, where basically action oriented tasks are being involved in this stage. So action, which is actually executing the planned task. This is the operational skill and the transfer stage. Second is the experiential intelligence. So basically what is experiential intelligence? Experiential intelligence is also regarded as the creative intelligence, okay, which involves using past experiences creatively to solve novel problems. Basically it is like old wine in a new bottle. So they have the ability to filter crucial information for a given situation. Such people make new discoveries and inventions, okay. Then the third one is the contextual intelligence, also known as practical intelligence. So this intelligence involves the ability to deal with environmental demands. So the manifestation needed to adjust to the situation. So it may be called street smartness or business sense people. So persons high on this aspect easily adapt to their present environment or select a more favorable environment than the existing one, or they can also modify the environment to fit their needs. Therefore, they turn out to be successful in life. Next theory is the PASS model of intelligence. PASS basically means planning, attention or arousal, and simultaneous successive model. It was developed by J.P. Das, Jack Naglieri, and Kirby in 1994. So according to this model, intellectual activity involves the interdependent functioning of three neurological systems called the functional units of brain, and these units are responsible for the arousal, attention, coding or processing, and planning respectively. Okay, so here we have to go through the planning, attention, arousal, and simultaneous successive processing. So the first, we will go through the arousal, attention. So state of arousal is basic to any human behavior as it helps us in attending to any stimuli. So arousal helps in paying attention to stimuli, whereas too much or too little arousal would interfere with the attention. How? For example, suppose teacher informs you about the upcoming test which stimulates you to attend to the chapters. Now, arousal helps you in focusing your attention to reading, learning, and revising. Next, it is the simultaneous and successive processing. So here, you can integrate the information into your knowledge system either simultaneously or successively. So simultaneous processing allows you to perceive the relationship between various concepts and integrate them into meaningful patterns. Relationship among abstract figures. Example, solving jigsaw puzzles. Okay. Then successive processing takes place when you remember things in a sequential manner or in a serial manner. Okay, one by one. For example, learning of digits, alphabets, etc. So how do you learn, how you have learned the digits? After one, what comes? Two or three? So like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is a successive processing. Step by step you have learned. Similarly, alphabets also you have learned in a serial way, right? So that is what is simultaneous processing and successive processing. Two different ways where you input the information in the knowledge system according to your convenience, whether you will put that information in simultaneous processing way or in the successive processing way. Last, it is planning. So it is an essential part of the intelligence. After the information is attended to and processed, planning is activated. It allows us to think of possible courses of action need to be implemented to reach the target and evaluate their effectiveness. So if a plan does not work, it is modified to suit the requirements of the task or situation. For example, to take the test scheduled by your teacher, as given the example in the arousal and attention, uh, I already told you this example in the arousal and attention. So there, you know that the teacher has scheduled a test for you and you have to set goals now. You have to plan a time schedule to study and get clarifications in case of problems. And if you are not able to tackle the chapters assigned for the test, you have to think of other ways. What can be the other ways? It can be that you have to give more time to your study, or you can go and study with a friend, or nowadays there is this um, so-called internet also, so you can take help of internet also using some kind of social platforms where you can contact with your friend and then you can clarify. So there are different ways you have to think in order to meet the goal. Okay, so these past processes operate on a knowledge base developed either formally or informally from the environment, and these processes are interactive, okay, and dynamic in nature, yet each has its own distinctive functions. Now see, this past processes or the past model operates on a knowledge base developed either formally or informally from the environment. So Das and Naglieri has developed a battery of intelligence test, which is known as cognitive assessment system, and it consists of verbal as well as non-verbal tasks that measure basic cognitive functions, which is presumed to be independent of schooling. That means it has no relation with that of your schooling purpose. Okay, and this battery of test was specially designed or specially meant for individuals between the age group of 5 and 18 years. So here this is the structure of CAS, where planning, attention, simultaneous and successive processing is being involved. Under planning, maybe there are certain matching numbers, plan codes, plan connections. This is just for understanding purpose, okay? You don't have to remember or you don't have to mug it up. You just have to understand what is CAS and who has developed. Okay, so from exam point of view, your theory of multiple intelligence is very important. It comes around 4 or 6 marks. And then there is this triarchic theory of intelligence, which is again important. And for objective type, your CAS is important, as well as PASS model of intelligence is also very important. Okay, thank you.